Every holiday season, we get just bombarded with these promises of the ultimate Black Friday bargain. And usually that word bargain just means cheap.
Right. And cheap so often translates directly to, slow, frustrating, and probably ready for the trash in about 18 months.
It is the classic trap, isn't it? We get convinced that the best deal is just the lowest price.
Exactly. But a truly good deal, I think, is about finding a machine that's perfectly optimized for who it's for. It's about balancing genuine, usable performance with a price that doesn't hurt.
And that, right there, is our mission today. We're doing a deep dive on one specific machine that's been popping up everywhere as a genuinely appealing deal.
Okay.
It's the HP 14-inch laptop, Model 14's DQ5000 series. We've got the review excerpts, we've got the specs, and we're going to unpack this thing piece by piece.
So the big question we're trying to answer for you is this. Does this laptop, despite being an entry-level machine, does it actually deliver a modern, lag-free experience?
Yeah, does it live up to the hype? The review calls it a machine with solid day-to-day performance. We're going to find out if that's actually true. So if you need to upgrade, but you're just tired of trying to decipher processor codes and memory ceilings, this is your shortcut. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. Who is this machine actually for?
The review is refreshingly straightforward on this point. This is not a powerhouse.
Right. Not by any stretch.
And it doesn't try to be. The HP 14s is really engineered for the student or the casual home user. Maybe it's the secondary machine you keep on the kitchen counter.
Okay.
It's all about reliability for those typical everyday things.
So we're talking about the digital essentials. Web browsing, managing email, Zoom calls, writing documents, spreadsheets, streaming Netflix.
All of that. It really sounds like the sensible choice that honestly most people actually need.
But they don't buy it because they feel like they have to chase the high-end specs.
Exactly. And that's its core value. It's practicality over flashiness. It saves you money because it doesn't waste resources on, say, a premium aluminum finish or a ton of raw power you'll never use.
So it puts the budget where it matters.
It focuses the budget on making the right parts fast.
Which means we should probably set the limitations right up front.
We have to.
If you are doing any intensive creative work editing, huge photo files in Photoshop, compiling code, or, God forbid, trying to play a new video game,
This is not for you. You will immediately find the ceiling of this machine.
that's okay.
That is absolutely fine, because those users are not the target audience.
Right.
For the student who's just bouncing between their learning portal, Microsoft Word, and Spotify, the limitations here are, they're pretty much irrelevant. The savings are what matter.
It's a smart compromise.
A very smart design compromise.
Okay, fair enough. So we know who it's for. Now let's get into the engine room.
The fun part.
Yeah, because this is where the deep dive gets really crucial. When I first saw Core i3 on the spec sheet, my first thought was, oh no.
I know that feeling.
We'll be back in that sluggish budget zone where you need 4 coffee breaks just to open Excel. So tell me why this specific chip is different.
That is such a critical point, and it's why this machine really stands out from all the other so-called deals. The heart of this thing is an Intel Core i3 1215U.
The key being 1215U.
The key is that it's a 12th generation chip. This isn't just a small step up from older i3s. It is a fundamental architectural change that dramatically improves what entry-level performance feels like.
So what did Intel actually do with the 12th generation that makes the user experience so much smoother, even with a supposedly entry-level chip?
They introduced what they call a hybrid architecture. You might have heard the name Alder Lake.
Okay.
And they brought it to the i3 line. So think of it like this. Older chips just had a bunch of identical cores running at similar speeds.
No.
This i3 1215U, however, has 2 high-performance cores. They call them P cores, and 4 high-efficiency cores, or E cores.
So that's 6 cores total.
Yeah.
But what does that actually mean for someone who's just, typing up a paper?
It means the chip is incredibly smart about how it uses its power. When you launch something demanding, like a video call, the P cores jump on that heavy task.
The foreground stuff.
The foreground stuff, exactly. Meanwhile, the E cores are quietly in the background managing all the low-power operations, like your antivirus scan or just keeping your music stream stable.
So it prevents that classic bottleneck, that thing where one big task just grinds the entire machine to a halt.
Precisely. That architecture brings a Well, it brings a noticeable leap in responsiveness. If you're upgrading from a machine that's maybe 5 or 6 years old,
Oh, yeah?
running on some ancient dual-core processor, the speed increase here is not theoretical. It translates directly into a modern lag-free feeling. Apps just snap open.
And that snappy feeling is everything. It makes the machine feel more expensive than it was.
It really does.
Now, performance isn't just the processor. It's also about memory. This laptop has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Is that enough, or is that another corner they cut?
8 gigabytes is, I would say, the absolute minimum sweet spot for a good experience today.
Yeah?
It's enough to juggle several of those typical student or home apps without the OS constantly struggling. You can have Chrome open with a dozen tabs, Spotify and Word all running at the same time.
And it won't just grind to a halt.
No, the RAM gives you enough headroom to handle that kind of workload.
Okay, so we've established the brain is fast, the short-term memory is adequate, but the single biggest psychological boost in speed comes from the storage. In this case, a 256 gigabyte SSD.
That SSD is non-negotiable for a good experience in this day and age. This is where HP made a really, really smart investment.
Yeah.
Think of it as the difference between opening a filing cabinet instantly or waiting for a librarian to slowly push a cart across a huge room to get your file.
That's a great analogy.
It means quick boot times, snappy file access, apps loading almost instantly. It's what makes the machine feel new.
But let's talk about that size. 256 gigabytes, we flagged this earlier. That is not a lot of space.
No, it's not, and that is the most deliberate compromise here. It's how HP keeps the price down while keeping that essential speed.
Okay.
They're basically telling the target audience, who probably lives in the cloud with Google Drive or OneDrive,
Right.
that this machine is not your personal media archive.
So if you're a student saving all your lecture videos locally, or you have decades of family photos, you're going to need to budget for an external hard drive.
Or just commit fully to the cloud. But for that core user who lives in Office 365 or browser tools, 256 gigs is enough. It's enough for the operating system, your main apps, and your current projects.
It's a very smart trade-off.
It is a smart trade-off to keep the price down but hold on to that crucial speed.
I agree. So the performance is optimized for daily efficiency. Let's shift gears to the parts you actually touch and see every day, the viewing and listening experience.
Right, and this is where that theme of balance continues. It's all solid functionality without chasing premium features you don't need.
We're looking at a 14-inch full HD display. In terms of size, is 14 inches still kind of the sweet spot for portability?
Oh, for a student or a commuter, absolutely. A 14-inch display just strikes a perfect compromise.
How so?
It keeps the laptop's whole footprint small and light. You can toss it in any backpack, but you still have enough screen real estate to, say, manage 2 documents side by side.
Or watch a movie without having to squint.
Exactly.
And what about the quality of the display itself? You know, we hear full HD, but that can mean a lot of different things.
Sure. The review notes that the clarity and sharpness are, and I'm quoting, very good for the price bracket.
Which means?
Which means text is crisp, it's suitable for long study sessions or reading documents, the colors are bright and clean.
Oh, what if I'm an amateur photographer and I need perfect color accuracy?
Then you'll need to look elsewhere and spend a lot more money. The colors here are not going to have the deep vibrancy or the wide gamut of a premium IPS or, an OLED panel.
So it's a display built for getting work done and for consumption.
Exactly. Productivity and consumption, not specialized creative work.
Got it. And moving on to the graphics, where he said this isn't a gaming machine, and that's pretty much confirmed by the integrated Intel UHD graphics chip.
Yes. But that UHD graphics chip confidently handles all the core visual tasks you'd expect.
Like streaming.
Streaming 1080p video on Netflix or YouTube is perfectly smooth, partly because that 12th gen chip is helping carry the load. It can handle basic photo viewing, a little bit of editing.
And it sips power.
And critically, it sips power, which really helps the battery life, which we'll get to in a minute.
It's the definition of competence, isn't it? It won't blow you away, but it won't let you down.
That's a great way to put it.
What about the sound? The dual speakers.
They deliver clear audio for what they're for: video calls, system notifications, watching a quick YouTube video. But let's be realistic. In a thin, budget-friendly laptop, there is a physical limit to how much bass you can produce.
So if I want to listen to music while I work, I should just grab my headphones.
Oh, absolutely. The sound is functional, it's clear. But for any kind of immersive media, music, movies, the review confirms that a decent pair of headphones will be a huge upgrade.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, we've covered the guts and the interface. Let's talk about the physical experience. practicality, portability, and build.
And for a student or a commuter, these things are sometimes even more important than the raw processor speed.
How does it feel?
How does it hold up when you throw it in a bag and drag it across campus?
So what's the build quality and the look?
It has that natural silver finish, which is that classic, clean, modern HP look. And yes, the build is largely plastic.
Which you'd expect at this price.
You have to. But the review makes a really key distinction here. It says it doesn't feel flimsy. It feels like it was put together well, with a focus on being durable but also lightweight.
And that weight is a huge selling point.
It really is. Plastic keeps the weight down. If you are lugging this thing between classes all day, that low weight means less strain on your back. It's a purposeful design choice.
It favors mobility over the sort of perceived luxury of metal.
Perfectly said.
Let's talk about the keyboard and the trackpad, because these are often the first things to get sacrificed in a budget laptop, and it can ruin the whole experience.
It's a major failure point for so many competing brands, but thankfully, HP seems to have prioritized them here. The keyboard is described as comfortable for long typing sessions.
Which is essential for a student writing papers.
Absolutely. And the trackpad is responsive and accurate. You're not going to get that frustrating lag or that jumping cursor you see on cheaper models.
So we're not looking at a compromised input experience, which is a massive relief.
A huge relief.
And it comes with Windows 11 pre-installed. How does the hardware handle the OS?
It's a good pairing. Windows 11 has a very streamlined design, and because you have that 12th Gen i3 and that fast SSD, the interface feels fluid. It doesn't feel sluggish at all.
The machine can actually handle it.
It meets the system requirements without a struggle, so you get all the new productivity features and security updates without feeling bogged down.
Okay, finally, let's talk battery life.
Yeah.
This is where reality so often clashes with what's on the box. The official rating is up to 8 hours.
And the real-world usage is more conservative, which is pretty typical.
So what does the review say?
The review suggests you'll get around 6 hours with mixed tasks.
Mixed tasks being?
Web browsing, a little multitasking, some video streaming, that sort of thing.
6 hours is respectable. It's not an all-day leave-your-charger-at-home kind of machine.
No, it's not a powerhouse in that sense, but it's definitely enough to get you through a standard school day or most of a long train journey without panicking.
It's dependable. You can grab it and go for a few hours without constantly looking for an outlet.
Exactly. And that, combined with the lightweight build, really confirms its status as a truly portable machine.
So, after all that, what does it all mean? Let's zoom out. What's the final verdict on the HP 14s?
I think the synthesis is really clear. This laptop stands out in the budget world because it is defined by strategic balance and practicality.
Right.
It's a dependable, great value option. It uses that current generation processor, that 12th gen architecture, to give you speed where it counts, and then it wisely cuts costs in places like storage space and fancy materials.
So it's not just cheap, it's optimized.
That's the word. It's optimized.
So for our listener who needs to upgrade from a painfully slow, old machine, what's the single most important takeaway here?
I would say focus on the synergy. If your daily workflow is web browsing, office work, streaming media, and some basic multitasking, then this combination is perfect.
The chip and the SSD.
The 12th Gen i3, with its hybrid architecture and that rapid SSD, together they offer a genuinely modern, lag-free experience. You are not buying a slow laptop, you're buying a responsive laptop that's just very focused on efficiency.
For the student or the family who just needs something that works every day.
It's perfect for them.
That focus on efficiency is really the game changer, isn't it? We spent a lot of time on that i3 1215U and that hybrid architecture trickling down from high-end chips.
It completely changes the conversation.
It really does.
Absolutely. I mean, think about what we called a budget laptop just a few years ago. It meant frustrating delays, constant waiting. It was a fundamentally compromised experience.
And now a budget machine is an intentionally focused machine.
Right. You're moving the baseline definition of responsiveness so far beyond what was possible before. You're no longer buying something that feels old when you buy something budget. You're just buying something streamlined.
And the accessibility of that sophisticated architecture is what's shifting user expectations.
It lets manufacturers prioritize speed over, say, massive storage or an aluminum case without sacrificing that core user experience.
So here's the final thought for you to mull over. We've established that this hybrid architecture has fundamentally changed what we can expect from a budget device like this HP. So consider how this shift is rapidly devaluing all that older stock of laptops still on the shelves. the ones that use traditional non-hybrid entry-level chips. If you see a deal on a machine that lacks this specific 12th gen architecture, is it really a bargain? Or is it already obsolete the moment you buy it?
What stands out to you about this incredible evolution in accessible technology?
Something to keep in mind as you're comparing those price tags this year.
Absolutely.
And we hope this deep dive helps you decide. Until next time.